And now, it's time for Socially Awkward Media with Levack and Goss. Awkward on 104.5 The Team.
Brought to you by For Your Convenience. Recycle your bottles and cans right there, 3rd Ave in Waterville. Got a little account going. And then, so you bring them all over, you write your account number on it. They do all the work. You go in like every couple months, go, hey, how much you owe me? They pull up your slip. There's your money.
Hey,
there's your money.
Business right there. Socially Awkward Media again every Thursday, but just because it's Thursday doesn't mean you can't always be a part of the show here on Levack and Goss. You can tweet in, Facebook in, do whatever you'd like. Facebook.com/1045 The Team. Leave comments there. Or tweet at us at 1045 The Team, at the Jeff Levack, or at Tom Goss, TOMGOZZ, throughout the week. And we give you the best and the worst of social media. We'll start with Rusty. Rusty wrote in, I'm convinced the XFL would make a splash in this day and age with the No Fun League getting more boring by the day.
After watching, now remember, that was directed by Charlie Ebersol, son of Dick Ebersol, who had a stake in the XFL. But after watching This Was the XFL, I believe that if they had more time to, train their talent, get more time to because tell me a team you've ever been on that you trained for like 23 days and you were ready to play like a team.
Nobody.
Right.
Nobody.
So I think if they had more time to actually develop the football angle of it, the actual players on the field, I think they would have made it then. I think they make it now.
I think it could work, but the season's tough. Could you put it on a Thursday night to compete against directly when you already have the football fans wanting football? Would a spring football league work?
Well, it was spring. I would do spring.
Yeah, but could it work again? Would the ratings be there? I'm not sure. I think the one thing they left out about that 30 for 30, and you and I were watching it there in Houston, is the XFL was almost victims of themselves because of the early success they had. The one part they touch on, and this isn't spoiling the movie, they doubled their initial ratings projections. So if you were an investor in the XFL and you said, okay, I'm going to spend, $50,000 on a spot. Wow, you got $100,000 worth of spots because of how good the rating was. So your investors all of a sudden start to change and think, oh, all right, cool. Like, I expect this going forward. I'm going to pay a premium for my spots. And then they catapulted to the bottom.
Well, the other thing I would say two things. Train your talent better, and then there would have to be a commissioner of the XFL that was not Vince McMahon. Because Vince reacted. You can see how fast Vince reacted to everything. You need somebody who's going to stay the course with a business plan and not change it every week.
Maybe. I see what you're saying about more so like an Emerson, like a TV executive who won't get shaken by the ratings shifting, and if you have a bad week, you're not going to change the characters, basically, like McMahon did. But the one thing McMahon did that we can't argue with is he's known throughout his career how to build superstars. Something the NFL never was able to do.
I mean, they still use stuff from there to this day. The Sky Cam and everything.
Yeah, and by never been able to do, I mean to a success like the NBA has been able to do. Ken Schott wrote into you, Levack. He wrote, NFL draft in Philadelphia in April. The boos will be raining down on Roger Goodell.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I mean, wherever the draft is, it'll be bad. But, I mean, you're talking about the city of brotherly love where they'll throw snowballs at Santa. They have a prison in their football stadium. I mean, I know Eagles fans get mad when you bring those things up, but they're real.
I'm going to have a line right here. 29.5. Amount of players booed by Philly fans during the NFL draft. And I'm just tossing 29.5 out there because there may be a player and a half that the fans don't know. It's Philly. They will boo everyone. They booed McNabb.
Goodell's out for the first 32, right?
Yes. Yep.
So 32.
You'll take them all.
32. Even theirs will get booed because Goodell's out there. All of them.
We got to figure out a way to get to Philly, man. It's going to be awesome.
I think you drive south, right?
Yeah. Voss wrote in. Voss, who, by the way, could be one of our interns by social media. Good for Voss working his way through this. Voss wrote in, Ron Baker of the New York Knicks looks like the type of guy to help his dad paint a house back in his home of Missouri. It's kind of very specific.
So, who wouldn't help their dad paint a house? I mean, you don't have a choice, right? Your dad says paint the house, you paint the damn house.
If anything, Ron Baker kind of does look like one of the characters from Dumb and Dumber with the haircut going.
He looks like Huck Finn to me. Like, he looks like Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn type. Like, if that's what you're trying to say, that he's just a folksy good old boy type thing. I'm with you.
I can tell you Ron Baker's one of my favorite athletes I've ever spoken to. Ron Baker played at Providence.
That's a shocker.
In March. Well, I'm kissing his butt. Is that what you're getting at here? Ron Baker could have, it was his final college basketball game. He could have said, no, I'm not taking any questions. I'm done. He went outside of the media area and answered every reporter's questions who wanted to talk to him at the end of the game. You don't have to do that. Did it. Very cool dude. Very classy, Ron Baker. I'm a Ron Baker guy. Michael George wrote in, one of our favorites. He wrote, Chase Daniel and Jason Peters for Leonard Williams or Sheldon Richardson. He's talking a trade here involving the Jets and Eagles.
I think the Jets. I don't think the Jets are going to trade. I don't think they're going to trade. I think they're going to deal with what they have to deal with. I think Fitz is back. I think Fitz is going to play quarterback for the Jets this year.
You know who would love that trade? Chase Daniel. Chase Daniel would love to be. He's a veteran who was brought in. Some people thought he could have been able to start for Philadelphia until Carson Wentz and then Sam Bradford gets moved. Chase Daniel's made so much money to never play. He's such a really good backup. Tyrod Taylor got his chance. Matt Schaub got his chance. We go through the list of guys who were backups who played and were able to make huge money. Maybe Chase Daniel, not for Leonard Williams or Sheldon Richardson, but maybe if you hit a point where you'd rather see a veteran like more proven than Mike Glennon, it's not a bad decision.
I'm shocked that there isn't somebody, making the call to get him in there, though. Because there's so many teams that could use him more than what they have. Buffalo. Just thinking of one.
Eric wrote in, speaking about the AFC East, Eric wrote in, Matt Patricia rocking a Barstool Goodell clown shirt getting off the plane today. Have you seen that?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before I went out.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's funny. I know that it's got to bother Goodell, but dude, you're a clown. And that's who you are. Just go ahead and take your $44+ million a year and be a clown. You call me a clown for $4 million.
my dear friend Matt Patricia, I don't think anyone would have noticed that he was wearing the shirt getting off the plane, but he did, and people noticed. So there you go. It became a story because of that.
I still think he's the kind of guy. I think he's a lot more like me, where it's like he's in his hotel getting ready to fly back, and he's like, oh, I didn't do wash. I didn't pack a shirt. Oh, where's that one that the Barstool fools gave me? That's clean.
Toss it on.
Oh, it fits? Beautiful. Good to go.
Peter wrote in, the Pro Football Hall of Fame voters have always undervalued wide receivers. See also Art Monk talking about Terrell Owens not being elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame class this year.
That's the God's honest truth. They make these wide receivers jump through hoops they would never make a quarterback or running back jump through. Ever.
And I don't know how in the future that's ever going to change. It's going to get worse in the future. Now, I get the committee themselves will change because of age and things like that. But you could honestly look at wide receivers now and think, hey, the rules are different. Defensive backs can't touch you like they used to. You're throwing the ball constantly. I have more respect from the guys from the 80s and 90s for what they did compared to the guys in the 2010s who said, well, I put up fantasy football numbers and all this, that, and the other thing. I don't see how the attitude of a wide receiver is going to change in the next 10 to 15 years when it comes to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Ryan wrote in, greatest thing I've heard today was Levack's impression of Rocky.
I can't even do it right now. I'm sorry. I can't answer the bell.
Sorry, Ryan.
I can't even breathe through my nose.
Sorry, Ryan.
I'm sorry, Ryan, but I appreciate you.
Maybe another day you'll get that.
Yeah.
Richard wrote in, and Richard has become the ultimate person for this. And Richard, once it stops being funny, we'll stop reading them. But every week they're funny to me. By God, it's Lady Gaga's music. She's on top of the roof. Don't do it, my Gaga. You've got a family. Like, Richard only writes in as Jim Ross from WWE, which is hysterical. Richard may be the one who gets the credit for the Grayson Allen WWE heel villain that we just did with David Glenn like a half hour ago. He might have been the first one that started it.
I'm pretty sure I started it, but, whatever. Give it to him. Whatever. You hate giving me credit.
What do you mean? Richard,
I'm the one who said it. It was me.
Was it you?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Richard.
Because I remember I made everybody go get me the Stone Cold music, and then I told everybody how much I love Grayson Allen now. He's just taking it to another level. Richard's has risen it higher. I planted the seed. He watered the tree, man.
Linda wrote in, really, those little trinkets, the cars, Disney World means nothing to the rich and famous, especially Tom Brady. This is Tom Brady passing off that could have been cars to James. Linda wrote in.
Linda, calm down. Everybody, that matters. You grow up seeing that happen, and now it happens to you, that matters. I mean, for Tom Brady, the truck may be a little different because that's like, all right, what do I do with it? I've got 75 cars. But at the same time, come on, there's an honor to that.
I think so. I think you're right. I mean, that's what they play for. Even though it's a ring
I
and
think
things
she's
like
a
that.
Broncos fan. They win once in like.
Oh,
her
don't
life,
do that to Linda.
And now all of a sudden she thinks she knows something.
Raiders versus Broncos. And one of my favorite ones here, Greg wrote in, already in 2 fantasy leagues, hashtag the challenge invasion. Did you hear about this? Did you miss our conversation with Zach and I yesterday?
No,
about
I didn't hear that at all. I do, by the way, love the invasion.
Yeah, we talked about this, that one of your favorite shows is on MTV. It's called The Challenge.
Yep.
The Challenge has fantasy leagues. So you can go on and, like, say if CT's the best competitor, you can have CT as your fantasy player for the challenge.
If CT, as long as he doesn't get in a fight, you win.
Greg's in 2 leagues on MTV.com.
They have leagues?
They have The Bachelor, The Survivor, but, like, those are, like, you pick in Big Brother, you pick who's going to win, and that happens in a pool. Eric, one of our producers, is in a fantasy Saturday Night Live league.
What?
So say, for instance, your person, let's say it's Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon's in the opening sketch. You get a point. Say if Beck Bennett is in the opening sketch, he's playing Vladimir Putin. If he says live from New York, it's Saturday night, you get a point. If someone breaks character, he had this whole thing laid out yesterday of fantasy Saturday Night Live he plays. The entertainment industry is taking over fantasy sports.
It's brilliant.
It is, and that's why I was upset. Me and you and Zach didn't get on the idea.
We didn't get in on that. That's just brilliant. Yeah, CT's a manimal. He's just crazy. He's insane. As long as he doesn't punch anybody in the face, he's going to win everything.
The New York Jets should sign him as a linebacker, special teams guy.
I think just construction people, just to watch him run through walls and stuff. Like it is amazing that guy is not a pro athlete. He might be the most physically gifted knucklehead in the history of human time.
Go on YouTube at some point during the day and type in CT Johnny Bananas back, where he competes against one of those guys and he picks the guy up over her back like a small child. It's insane. That's Socially Awkward Media, by the way. At the Jeff Levack, at Tom Goss, TOMGOZZ, and at 104.5 the team. Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
I got one more. That's coming.
Might be the most awkward of the day.
Maybe the most awkward of the day. At NY_Knicks PR. The New York Knicks PR just tweeted this out. Updated statement, quote, there are dozens of security staff, employees, and NYPD that witnessed Charles Oakley's abusive behavior. It started when he entered the building and continued until he was arrested and left the building. Every single statement we have received is consistent in describing his actions. Everything he has said since the incident is pure fiction, end quote.
Oh, all right. It's on. Let's get deeper into that and see who we believe, Oakley or the Knicks. That was Socially Awkward Media, brought to you by For Your Convenience. They recycle your bottles and cans. We recycle your tweets and Facebook posts.